All right, we're gonna call this, regular city council meeting to order, October 13th, 2025, 6 p.m. We do have a certification of a quorum. At this time, we'll, stand for the pledge of allegiance and pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, for all. Honor and Texas flag. Allegiance to be Texas. One indivisible.
Let's bow our heads. Father, we thank you so much for your love and kindness to us. We honor your name, Father. We just pray that you'd send us some rain. I think it's pretty much needed here and we're dried up. So we ask for that humbly. And we also ask that you just be present with us this evening in our city council meeting, Father, that we have decisions in front of us. We have things that need to be taken care of, that we would do that with humility. We thank you for all the blessings of life and for life itself. We just pray that you would keep our citizens hydrated and cool. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, we're moving on to item number 4. Item number 1 under number 4, a public hearing, SUP 2025-05, an application by Jessica Cantu, which is a proposed tenant with permission of property owner Anahue LLC for a special use permit to operate a smoke shop in a unit at approximately 1.2095 acres of Business Park North Lot 21, 22, and 23A. General location 2407 West Loop, El Campo, Texas. That was, I opened the public hearing there, and comments at this time. Public hearing is closed. Moving on to item number 5. Public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the city council in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. City council is limited to making a statement of specific factual information in response to the inquiry or reciting existing policy, but may not discuss, deliberate, or take any action on any item. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. The issue may be placed on a future agenda for consideration. No public comments today, so we're gonna move on to item number 6, a consent agenda. Approval of city council regular meeting September 22nd, 2025.
Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second that motion.
We got a motion and a second on the floor to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Motion passes. Item number 7, consideration of an action on number 1, ordinance 2025-15, authorizing a special use permit for the purpose of the smoke shop.
SCP 2025-05 here. Most of this information is provided in staff report that's in your packet. Oops. This is the location. This is a multi-tenant location, so it's proposed to be in 2 units at this site. So you'll see its address is 2407 West Loop, but it'll actually be separate units that have different. Here is the information about the surrounding properties, and you have mostly commercial in this area with rural behind it, which is not city limits, so it's not zoned. The pictures on the left and the bottom middle are pictures of the existing location that's in the Galleria area. We've already talked with the application, sorry, get my words right today, about the imagery, and they are aware that the imagery is not something that P&Z or council may be open to, and so they're okay with taking that out. But we kept the pictures in here so you can have reference for it. And then to the bottom right is the picture where the strip center is going to be, where the 2 units are that they're proposing to. Excuse me. So the proposed tenant application has a lease pending for SUP, lease pending. the SUP determination. I don't know what is up with me today. I feel like I'm off. I
It's hot in
apologize.
here.
Huh? Is that what it is? Thank you, Tom. The property owner has provided permission for this SUP application, and so once they know if they're approved, they'll be able to sign that. The proposed application details are for 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 8 to midnight, Sunday, 12 to 6. Lighted business sign, so that's the pole sign that we saw previously. It'll have kind of a light, but not with the marijuana leaf on it. They also are looking at keeping the windows tinted. The products that they will sell are THC juices and gummies. And I want to clarify that this is not necessarily a smoke shop, but we're treating it like a smoke shop because it falls closest to that definition. These types of stores are regulated by the state of Texas, and they do have to have a license to sell the item that they're selling. And it is the state of Texas that would do any kind of inspections or enforcement on these types of businesses. But we are going to, you'll see in the conditions, require a copy of a valid documentation from the state to be able to do this as well. So when that comes up, it'll have that item as well. They're not providing any samples or any on-site use of products, and we have not had any inquiries from the public regarding the request itself. We did have a public comment at the P&Z meeting from the neighbor behind them that wasn't interested in having this next to his agriculture land. But other than that, we've had no inquiries otherwise. It is eligible for approval based on the SUP application conditions, and it was recommended for approval by your Planning and Zoning Commission when they met at September 17th meeting. They did recommend some conditions which are in your packet. They've asked for recommendations to include any SUP approval is pending the execution of the lease agreement. The business annually provides a valid license from the Texas Department of State and Health Services to sell these products, and that's a license that I mentioned earlier. That the business hours be limited to state liquor sales laws, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and closed on Sundays. This condition was put in there by P&Z because that's how it's typically been handled. The applicant is asking for you guys to reconsider this recommendation to allow them to be open on Sundays as well. So I do want to make sure you're aware that the applicant would like to be considered for Sunday. Additionally, they have limited or prohibited window displays or signage depicting any products or related imagery for the merchandise. That includes the marijuana leaves, CBD signs, THC signs, any kind of related signs. And also limiting the exterior display or signage, excluding the business name, to be to the front door and to include things like your minimum age requirements to enter. Lastly, they're asking that you maintain or require, that the applicants maintain or require the existing window to near privacy screening, which again is something that they're planning on doing. Any questions on these conditions for approval?
What's the age limit?
It's 21, is that correct for this product? Yes, 21.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So you said that this is not a smoke shop, so they won't have vape or tobaccos or anything like that?
So we're not going to vape.
So this is a, I'm gonna say sister company to what is already in the Galleria? I mean, it's the same company,
It's just a second location.
second location. Okay, so the attraction of the marijuana leaf in the Galleria area that we're not allowing here, but there's no, and I don't know anything about the THCA and all that stuff. What is all that? Is it,
It's this case for a dispensary, it's gonna have like, if I speak on any of this, but it'll have, I guess, the flowers that you can buy and smoke, and then it also like, it's not quite like a Colorado dispensary or a Michigan dispensary, it's more like Texas regulated. So it's very different from what I understand, but they can't have, they have pre-rolled. And then the pre-rolled, I guess they're not called cigarettes, but, okay.
Does the smoke, when you smoke it, does it make you high? It makes you high.
It has the THC in it.
Okay.
But again,
Is it legal?
what they're doing is licensed by the state of Texas, and so it does meet their legal requirements.
I had one more question. Is it also regulated by of distance from a church and that kind of stuff? Okay, because there is a church like maybe 1,500 feet down the road from there.
The state of Texas, it does have that for liquor and alcohol sales, but they have not introduced anything like that for this type of sale. No, we don't have anything for that either, no.
Smelling those pipes, those pong, whatever they smoke marijuana through, those pipes or anything in your store? No.
Is this different than the last shop that we did not approve? Because we said we had too many of them already?
We did approve the last one, but we had very similar conditions here. They decided to shut down because they didn't feel like they had enough business. So they didn't last very long, but we did approve. Vape and More, Vape City. I don't recall us turning that one down. I apologize, I'm
I
sorry.
said no.
But the smoke shop is different because it has like paraphernalia and pipes and like the screens and like it has all this other stuff. Please tell me if I'm doing this wrong because I'm not very familiar with these types of businesses. But like normally the the smoke shop definition that we have is for like cigar lounges, tobacco discount stores, your vape city, vape and more type places, and this is a dispensary where they sell like CBD and THC products, but it's not the same type of smoke products. Even though it has like a product that can be smoked, the state has them separated by their permitting process, and so we're treating this one as our definition of smoke shop because that's as close as I can get to a use in our list right now.
So I remember reading something in the paper just recently about the governor either approving something or vetoing something. Did that relate to this kind of a facility?
It does, but it didn't pass through, so this facility is still considered
That
legal.
did not pass. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, and they have not imposed any regulations like the liquor stores with the business hours or anything like that.
You've got a statement on there saying about the applicant asking for council consideration to be open on Sundays as well.
Correct.
So if we vote on this, does it include Sundays or does it not?
If you vote as presented, it would not
Okay.
include Sundays, but if you wanted to revise it, you could motion to approve with the revised permission to be open A to B time. on
Understood.
Sunday.
Thank you.
Did some research this afternoon online about smoke shops. You don't consider this a smoke shop though?
State considers this a dispensary type THC seller, not necessarily like smoke shop.
Well, I know the city of Rosenberg, the city of Sugar Land, and the city of Missouri City are trying to stop it.
They have quite a few. This smoke shop.
And they're trying to they're trying to even go after the grandfathered ones. So I don't know, how you can get a promise. If we approve this, how do we enforce? We say we enforce this, approve it, and we go back 3 or 4 weeks later and they've had all the paraphernalia in the store. I mean, do we have any protections on that is what I'm saying.
We do. We contact the state of Texas, and the state of Texas told my inspectors that we, under no circumstances, regulate the sale of these products. We can do our SUPs, and that's fine. But if there's any issues with what's being sold in these stores, that we're to contact their department directly. They have established a department that handles all of the permitting and enforcement at the state level for these.
Okay, I have one more elementary question. So if I go over there and I buy their product and I just heard it said, yes, you will get high, right? Did I hear that?
She told me.
And I get pulled over by a policeman and I'm under the influence of the product that's sold in this store, is the policeman going to say, well, it's legal? Okay,
No, Chief.
No?
please stop. Under the influence, you're
thank you. So this is, okay, so this is something that you do at home. Okay,
So we have this debate. So if for some reason they would never do it, if y'all sell something above that, then we follow them to us. We could still handle that. If it's licensing issues, then the state has to handle. But if they were to sell a product with greater than 3%, and we found out, and we investigated, then we would follow them for that also, for selling, basically, selling drugs. So as long as they keep it 3% or below, that's the key on this. That's why, I'll say publicly, law enforcement, I wish the governor wouldn't have vetoed the bill, because it's difficult for us, because we cannot physically look at something and say, is that 2%, 5%? We have to get it tested, and it creates some issues with law enforcement. But the one about, you're out in the public, and we think you're under the influence, and whatever it came from, it wouldn't matter, it would have nothing to do with their licensing. Now, if we traced it back to them and proved it, then we might come back later and say, hey, you were part of this offense that occurred out here, and if it had to do with licensing, we would refer it to the state of Texas, and they would deal with that element of it.
Is there an open container law? I know that it's different.
Yeah.
Because, okay.
There is.
It's,
And we, when vaping first came in, we had a lot of issues because a lot of the people buying were illegal because they had an issue of like below a certain percentage. Then it became a big problem with us because we would stop them, tested they were above the limit. That was a felony. So a lot of people kind of felt bad for them. They were buying a product they thought was okay. But they come out, it's above that percentage. You and I, just looking at something, we don't know.
Sure.
We'll base it upon complaints, if we get complaints, underage people, whatever, we'll still investigate it. As long as, they're doing things within their licensing, they will have a problem.
Chief, how do you enforce that? I know you can smell marijuana. Can you smell this? If the officer stops somebody, how does he know how does he prove they're high? You don't blow into it, you can't have blood alcohol.
Generally, just the smell alone, you're not arresting people. Smell might get you to look in the vehicle or to search a vehicle. So really what happens is gonna be, if it's in a vehicle, it's gonna be based on their driving.
Right.
And that's why we're gonna stop it. If you walk up, they're actually smoking something that's marijuana. If you've been around long enough, anytime, you'll recognize the smell. And then if they have, let's say gummies or whatever they have, and we stop them, and if they're, looking like they're intoxicated, well, we'll do a breath, and if we think it's drugs, we'll do a blood draw. And then I'll tell us how much is in their system, or if it is in their system.
I didn't know if you did a blood draw. I know that's what you do for liquor, but I didn't know you did that for.
We do, the
Drugs.
difference is, there's no such thing for intoxication with THC. So that is subjective to a point, but we can find it if it is in the system, and then we'd have to base our case upon their behaviors. So if they're driving all over the road, they sell.
is anybody else selling this product in town?
I think that there are places that sells the CBD oils, but I don't know that any of them are selling THC. Because the CBD is not the part that's regulated, it's the THC part. Any other questions I can try to answer?
We don't have any other questions. See if council want to move forward and vote on this. Brittany,
That without the Sunday hours for clarification? Okay.
we got a motion on the floor to present, to accept it as presented.
Second?
Second.
For discussion, when I look at your ordinance, it says depicted in Exhibit A. So Exhibit A is part of this ordinance? And I didn't see which one was labeled as Exhibit A, but maybe I just overlooked it.
It is actually hard to read. It's at the top of the map right there. And then the next page behind it is the recommendation letter from the P and Z that is attached to those ordinances.
Okay, just so you know.
Yes, sir. I can have it moved though for recording that Exhibit A.
We got a motion, a second on the floor, for approval of SUP 2025-05 as presented. All in favor? All opposed? Motion fail. we will be moving on to item number 2, Resolution R 2025-50, awarding a contract to J4 Fencing and Services LLC for the HMCP water plant generators project and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement and related documents.
All right, good evening. This is a project long time in the making, many years in the making. It was held up with the FEMA application for about 2 years, and then it finally got approved to move forward. So this is to put permanent generators and automatic transfer switches at Wilson Street, Kentucky Street, and the Avenue F water plants. Put it out to bid, and they were opened on September 16th with 2 bids received from J4 Fencing and Services LLC and McDonald Municipal and Industrial. Just keep in mind that the bid that's coming in is coming in lower than the grant award, but this is a reimbursement type grant, so you don't get the extra money to spend elsewhere. You only get reimbursed for what you spend. So Strand and Associates is our engineer who evaluated the bids, and William is here for any questions. And then representatives from J4 are in the audience as well. And with this, since it was a COVID grant, this is when the federal government had given us more reimbursement. So instead of the normal 75-25, we're getting reimbursed 90%, and we only have to cover 10% of the cost. So we'd only have to cover $85,022.42, and that would come from the utility fund budget. They're here for questions.
Mayor, I make a motion, we approve resolution 2025-50.
Second.
We got a motion and a second on the floor.
I just have one question. What brand of generator are we using?
So the
I mean, who makes it?
specifications for the project, I believe we spec'd around either Kohler or Cummins type generator.
Okay.
We don't ask during bidding the exact one, but it has to meet all the specifications.
You have a specification,
Yes.
design spec.
It's not just open to
Sure.
whatever generator they want to put in. It has to meet certain specifications.
Okay.
And only the major brands typically meet that.
Thank you.
So I guess we have a way of maintaining these generators. Do they come on automatically occasionally and that sort of thing?
Gary, you want to talk about our preventative maintenance program?
Yeah, so whatever, original maintenance comes with it, and then we do extended maintenance on all of our generators that we have in the city, including load test annually, twice a year PMs, and then we have software that monitors them all now and that would be installed on
I'm
these.
sure y'all have it all figured out, but I know some of these household generators will start up once a week or once a month by themselves.
Yes.
Put themselves online
Yes.
just to make sure they're running right. Will this kind of system do that too?
Weekly exercise, and we get emails when it turns on, when it turns off.
Yeah.
Along the same lines of questioning that Mr. Koblenz had, talking about the brands and kinds and all that, I assume that J4's got certain brands or people that they've worked with. So do y'all have any feedback on what those brands are and what the service to stand behind those brands are? Just out of curiosity.
Can you come to the podium?
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
I'm Harley Strock with J4 Fencing. So we're sourcing them from a company out of Houston that has different technicians with themselves, and then also will help with the, any maintenance. And I believe it's a high power generator, and it is basically the same model as one of the Cummins generators. It's the same, specs, I guess.
Yeah, the main feedback behind that is making sure you got maintenance and parts
Oh,
associated with
yes,
it.
yeah.
A lot of times you get these things and they're a fad, and then you get a whole bunch of them, and then you don't have anybody to service them or maintain them. So
Yeah,
I just
they
want to make
have
sure they're
been-
standing behind it.
They've been, we could get them
Okay.
here next week,
Okay.
and that's very out of the ordinary for.
And you guys are tied in with them
Yes, yes, sir.
contractually? Okay, okay. All right, thank you, Harley.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nope. Any further discussion? We got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you.
you.
All right, moving on to item number 3, City Development Corporation Infrastructure Grant in the amount of $100,000 to Aquafit Chlorination.
Mayor and Council, here on behalf of the CDC. Todd White, who I'm sure y'all all know, is the owner of Aquafit Chlorination. He is building an additional building behind the existing building. He's going to have to take the infrastructure back to that site. Infrastructure expense is estimated, we are doing infrastructure, right? Yeah. To be $225,000. The board unanimously approved 100,000 of that for, to reimburse him for the infrastructure costs for that expansion. It's a $2.5 million project, and if you don't mind, I'll just read you what Todd said. This $2.5 million project, housing another pellet production line for the Home Armor Power Clean Wand, are launched on Amazon in January of 2025 and will be expanding into Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, and Menards in Q1 26. To be entrusted with making this product for W.M. Barr really means a lot to Tommy, Spencer, and me. This is a damp rid.
Hey, what?
Damp rid is who he's making these for. So when you buy the little damp rid armor wand cleaner, it will be made in El Campo.
Question?
Yes, sir.
Why do I always question you?
Because I'm questionable.
$100,000 for infrastructure. And my understanding is that the new facility is going to be built behind the existing facility, I think is
sir.
what I read.
Yes, sir.
Are they having to acquire more property, or is the property already there?
No, it is on blank vacant property
Okay.
behind the existing building that was, y'all may know as Laura Dare or the Painty Factory, or that's where Aquafit is. This will be a separate building with separate fire suppression needs, et cetera.
Its own services, and that is,
The two are not going to be joined.
okay,
It will be a
independent of each other
Yes, sir.
when it comes to power, sanitary, water, et cetera. I was wondering where the 100,000 would go, honestly. Okay.
We talked about doing it a couple of different ways, and the board was happiest with the 100,000 to help with the infrastructure. That's a little less than 50%, and then doing the job creation incentive for the other
Yeah, I
part.
saw that. Okay, so they spent, I think I saw 225,000 is what their new facility is going to cost, right?
No, it's 2.5 million.
Was that, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And they're looking at, I think, 380 amp, 380 amp.
Service?
Should be asking you that.
It's 225,000 for the water and sewer lines to go?
Yes, sir.
through it?
Yes, sir, to extend it back to that new building in the
Like a
back.
lot. Far as-
It's good-sized lines. He just sent me a text with the size of the lines, but I don't have my phone with me.
Sounds like a lot.
It's a lot on the tax roll too.
They're not tiny lines.
$2 million building will help.
The fire suppression alone is,
I can imagine that.
Mayor, I recommend that we approve the City Development Corporation infrastructure grant for $100,000 to Aquafit.
Second.
We got a motion and a second on the floor to approve the grant in amount of $100,000 to Aquafit chlorination. All in favor? Motion passes.
thank you very much.
Moving on to item number 4, City Development Corporation Job Creation Incentive in the amount of $100,000 to Aquafit chlorination.
I will not repeat myself because the air conditioner still hadn't come on. He is estimating to increase, he has 10 current employees in his building now, and he is anticipating creating a minimum of 12 additional jobs with this new damp rid product line. And what the board did was approve a job creation incentive. Our job creation incentives are always paid a year after the creation, jobs are created. And we get their unemployment tax report from the state of Texas to my brain's not working, I'm sorry, to validate those numbers. And it's for $100,000, sorry.
So what happens if you can't validate the numbers?
Then he doesn't get the money, or it's based on the numbers of the employees he does have. If he only hired 6, I'd go back to the board and I'd say, we need to drop this to 50,000. If he doesn't do what the board, the conditions that the board, and he's aware of them, if he doesn't follow or fulfill the conditions that the board put on the grant, then he doesn't get the grant.
Hypothetically speaking, he hired 12 people October 1st of 2026, 350 days before it's supposed to. Does that qualify?
It starts the day the people are hired. It's 1 year from the date the job is created. It's a job creation incentive. It's not 1 year from the date of today or the date that
Oh, they have to be employed.
or 1 year, yes, sir. And that's the way they've all been done. When we did them with juniors and with jeans and all these other projects, same thing.
Combined, it's full program back.
It goes, if he does not create the 12 jobs and keep them for 1 year, then I go back to the board and say, and I keep pointing to Quattro because he's the chairman of the board. I go back to the board and say, he didn't do what he said he wanted to do. How would y'all like to handle this? And then we would go from there.
Well, they can't create a
And-
job till they get the building built anyway, can they?
Exactly.
The building's what, 6 months?
And they're chomping at the bit, because the good thing about this project is it's keeping this product from going to Mexico. It's actually keeping it in Texas. And if he does this in a timely manner and W&Bar stays happy with him like he is, there's an opportunity for him to expand again with another product line that has the potential to bring jobs and product out of China. So that there was a lot more things under consideration when the board, and those things he's put out there for the public.
In the
So I don't
past,
feel-
when I was on the CDC board, for instance, so we always talked about job creation versus what the salaries were gonna be, what the payroll was gonna be. Do we take that into consideration here? We don't do
His
that anymore?
average, I believe, was his lowest was 15, and that's the minimum to get the job creation
I
incentive.
couldn't remember if we had a figure there or not.
Yes, sir.
For
Mayor-
him being a California transplant, he's doing El Campo proud.
He is definitely, he's bought another home and is remodeling that. He's been a definite benefit to the community.
Mayor, I move to approve a job creation incentive in the amount of $100,000 to Aquafit Chlorination.
A second.
We got a motion and a second on the floor for the incentive in the amount of $100,000 to Aquafit Chlorination. All in favor? Any discussion?
I just wanted to make a comment. I think this is one of those opportunities that sometimes we failed in the past, although I'm a little bit reluctant. I'm going to vote for this. But for business in town, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is going to help our future here for business, bring revenue into our cities and so forth. I just want to make that comment.
Thank you.
So all in favor again? Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Thank you, council.
We'll move on to item number 5. Discussion related to the City of El Campo, Texas Code of Ordinance, Article 12.03, parking, to provide staff direction on revision.
I'm not gonna go through all, I promise. I'm gonna make it really easy for you. I put as much information as I can in the packet so that you would have it in advance to look over. So as I go through this, I'm going to skip through the stuff you already have. And what I've done in this package is I've created ordinance reports so that moving forward, we have a templated process that when we want to discuss an ordinance change, it'll come to you very similar to an SUP or zoning, and it'll have that report process with it. So what we're going to be looking at is the 3 parking-related ordinances that we've kind of looked at for the last year or so. And our first one we're going to do is the parking of the oversized commercial vehicles, trailers, boats, boat trailers, and residential zones. This information is in your packet about how it works, the challenges, and then our solution of either keeping and editing or enforcing or deleting. And so that's all already been discussed with you guys. So one of the possible edits we put together for each of these possible edits that we could discuss with you all. And I also included that proposed edit in the packet so you could see what it looks like in text. And so those couple of edits that we could do to make this potential ordinance better is potentially adding a maximum length on RVs. Currently, your oversized vehicles in your ordinance is defined as over 20 feet. So in your packet, I put some information about standard trailer sizes, standard RV sizes, standard sizes for the different types of oversized vehicles. Secondly, we could look at adding language that does not allow it in the corner side yard, and I left and/or on there, that's a typo, ignore that. Move to the next one, to include oversized and commercial vehicles, trailers, boats, and boat trailers. I did this because in your parking, the parking on a residential property only applies to recreational vehicles or RVs at this time. It does not apply to trailers, it does not apply to something that had like a work-related type thing, right? It's just for the RVs. So if you wanted to prevent trailers from being parked in the side yard, front yard, driveway, that kind of stuff, then we would want to think about putting some of that language in there also. And then adding a definition for recreational vehicle because it does not currently have that definition in it, and that will not get updated in your UDC since this is in your parking ordinance. So what that looks like with regards to those proposed edits, you can see where I added oversized and commercial vehicles, trailers, boats, or boat trailers in green to the language, highlighted as defined because we have not defined that. Took out some language about in front of the yard, TBD feet in length, and then added a proposed definition there. So what I'd like to get feedback from you guys on is, do we like these changes? Do we not like these changes? Do we want to try this or do we want to delete this? I need to know kind of which direction to go. But these could potentially be edits that would help revise and improve the ability to enforce something based on some of the feedback that I've gotten so far. So thoughts, yes.
So it doesn't ever say in here anything about 18-wheelers, and it seems like that would be a moot point, but there, I speak because there is one on Fifth Street, right there by 71, right across from Rich, and nothing has been done, and it's still there, and it keeps on being there, but this does cover that?
If we added this language, it would help cover that scenario.
Would help?
If it's in the street, it's covered if it's in the street, because then if it's in the street, we can send PD and they handle it in the street side. If it's on the property, like at the residential property parked in their driveway and it's a full-size 18-wheeler, if it's over 20 feet and it has the full truck and trailer, then it would not be allowed. So we can, you said that was on Fifth Street?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if it was just like the truck cab or something like
No.
that, it's not specifically stated for that type of thing. But over 25 is, over 20 feet is currently the way it's written, and we could go cite that. Okay, I'll let the team know about that.
I'd rather do this at a workshop than at a council meeting.
Sure.
I mean, we
Lot of
don't have,
conf-
we
lot of
don't have time
confusion.
to go.
No, we don't, but I mean, if you give me direction, I guess I could just bring it back at a workshop and schedule
That would
something
be better,
different.
so that we can sit down and see item by item.
Yeah, we were on the fence on whether to schedule this on a lighter agenda, which we thought this one might be, or whether to take time with the workshop. But if you're interested in a workshop, we'll absolutely schedule one.
Yeah.
And we can postpone this item. Yeah.
I don't want to make any changes real quick.
Yep.
To do that.
I believe if we bring it back to a workshop, I think it'd be a lot better.
Schedule a workshop before one of either the next council meeting or the following council meeting. We'll need to know.
Out of curiosity, I couldn't understand. As far as stuff parked in the driveway,
Part of that, it takes out language that is specifically to the front yard, so it would help you cover for this, corner side yards.
Did they- And parking an RV and that, and you said that was included, I thought, and then later I heard that it was not in the ordinance. So I have questions like that, and I agree it would be better in a workshop.
We'll schedule a workshop, no problem.
Does this do anything with the, camper trailer in the middle of a vacant lot?
If it's in the middle of a vacant lot, then it's not,
Side lot.
that count. It's an appropriately placed lot, and we don't have anything that requires screenings.
We'll talk about all this in a scheduled, workshop.
We need a motion.
We need a motion for a workshop. Table it.
Okay.
Table it.
Mayor, I move to table the parking discussion until a later date.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. We got a motion on the floor to table this, until a later date, for a workshop. Anybody like to second that?
Second.
All in favor? Table? Motion passes to table it to a further date. Staff will let us know.
Like an 18-wheeler tractor, actually, and then it was fired up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
How close is that to your house?
Okay, item number 6. Texas Municipal League Region 14, Director Election. At this time, everybody can see that we've got a couple of notes here on a couple of different people. So, we have one here. I believe everybody's read it. So, from Miss Sally Branson, and then we have another one from Emmanuel Guerrero. So, yes, this time, anybody would like to vote on either one of these?
Since we don't know either one of them, do you have a recommendation? Or
I
who
do.
who is current right now?
Branson.
Sally is, yeah.
Branson is, and I did read up on both of them, and I'm not gonna say one's better than the other.
I left Friendswood to come here, so I won't offer my thoughts on.
So you know one versus the other?
I know she is.
So my comment on this is, I don't see any reason not to just continue on with the incumbent, but if there was anyone else that felt differently, my second choice would be Emmanuel Guerrero. I'm just making a comment here. I'm not, do we need to do a motion?
I would like to mention something. Like I said, I looked up both of them. I spoke with Emmanuel on the phone.
Okay.
And I feel like he's fit for the job, not because his last name Guerrero, but it's because, I spoke with him on the phone. He sent me an email, and this is the first time I heard from Sally here. So Emmanuel really reached out, and he really is working hard for this. And I feel I'd like to make a motion for us to vote Emmanuel.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Mhm.
All in favor? Motion passes. Thank y'all. Okay, we're gonna move into item number 8, close executive session at this time, which is 6:44.
That's problems for the police.
You gotta be at work.
All right.
Yeah.
It is hot in here.
Was it even that hot of a
We were
topic?
heated.
All right, it is 7:28. We are gonna reconvene and we're gonna come out of here with no action and this meeting's adjourned.
Yeah.
Yes, you too, Kyle.
You-
Right.